through the misty fells, where the lake winds cry, with a map in hand and a twinkle in his eye. The hills echo steps of a wandering soul. A silver fox grins as he reaches his goal.
Well, morning everyone, welcome back to the Lake District, and today we're in the Central Fells to pick up 3 new Wainwrights on my quest to get them all finished this year. So we've parked up, as you've seen, in the Wainwrights National Trust car park. Fortunately for me today, the machine's not working, so it's not cost me a penny, which is always a bonus. Anyway, so yeah, as I say, we've got 3 new Wainwrights today and a few other fells, a Birkett and a few Synges and a couple of tarns to take in today, and also the small little village of Rossthwaite. So while I make my way up the hill, you're going to take a look at the route we're doing today, and I'll catch you in a bit. Okay, there you go, there's our route. It should be about somewhere between 10 and 11 miles, probably nearer in 10. Weather-wise today, sunshine and showers, but they are forecasting it to be very windy, as you can probably hear, so I apologise now if there's any wind noise on this video. So yeah, just a word of warning, if you are driving up to Wainwrights National Trust car park, the road is very, very narrow, single track, passing places, and even the passing places are dodgy and very few and far between, so just bear that in mind. But yeah, our first fell of the day is a Wainwright, and it's Brunt Fell or Grange Fell, whichever one you want to say. He says in his book Grange Fell, so that's what we'll call it, which I believe is pretty much just up there. It's not far to our first one, so with the path just handrails this wall really up to them crags. So yeah, so we'll carry on walking up, and I'll bring you back when we get further nearer the top. So this is us crossing an area on the map that's classed as Joplety How Moss, and then working our way through the crags. You can see why it's called a moss. It's boggy underfoot, which will be the theme of today, I think. And our hill is just up there. I can just see the rock formation of Joplety How, and it's just beyond that. So yeah, as promised by the weather forecast, it's very windy, but to be honest, we've got some sunshine there, and if it gets no worse than this, we'll be doing very well. So it wasn't really a scramble, it was just a path weaved this way between the crags. Now I'm not sure which one's Joppelty How. I'm not sure whether it's this one that we're just behind now, or whether it's that one over there. It's difficult to tell from the map, and with it not being a classified fell, you can't really get any grid references, so it could be either. Anyway, it's not our main objective today. The first one is Grange Fell, which is pretty much just behind us up there, so we'll be there in 2 or 3 minutes, I would say. So I'll bring you back when we're on the summit. Right guys, here we are, first Wainwright of the day, 417 metres of Grange Fell. Now I'm really struggling with the top here. According to hill bagging, there's meant to be a cairn. I can't see a cairn on any of these rocks formations. I've been to that one over there, I've been to that one over there, and I've been to this one over here. So all three look similar height, but as I say, there's meant to be a cairn, but I can't see one. So I've been to all three. I've been to this one, I've been to that one, and I've been to that one. So it's bagged. Right, so I think our next hill, which is a Synge, is Ether Knot. I think it's that knob straight ahead there. So hopefully we'll drop down between all those crags down there and we'll get out of the wind for a bit. But yeah, I can't find a cairn on any of these rock formations, so I'll take it as this one here. As I say, I have been to that one and I have been to this one, so who knows. So surprisingly, there is actually a decent little trot heading over towards Ether Knot, so whether that's animal, mineral or vegetable, both the black panda fans out there, I don't know, but I'm following it and it's taking me in the right direction. So maybe this hill is more popular than they give it credit for. So here you are, look, trod, and it just kind of picks its way between the crags. So that's all I'm doing. So yeah, it's been quite easy so far, surprisingly. On a map check, we have to cross this fence, which shouldn't be too difficult, over that boggy section, and Ether Knot is straight ahead of us, the tallest peak in the middle there. Okay, so we've crossed that fence. There is barbed wire on the top, but it's not very high, so you can press it down and cross over it. We've got Ether Knot now, you can see better, right in the middle of us, so that's our next pole. But looking out towards the west, you've got Cat Bells there, over to Maiden Moor and High Spy, Dale Head there, the big one. Yeah, so it's not so bad. If this wind had just buggered off, but I don't think it's going to, unfortunately. So we'll get up now to Ether Knot. So here we are, the Synge of Ether Knot, 420 metres. Boom. And it's an absolute cracker. That's looking over to Grange Fell, where we come from. That's looking over to Great Crag, which will be our last one of the day. Down to Wat Endless Tarn, and the farm down there where the car's parked. So it's windy up here, so what I'll do is I'll take some pictures now rather than explain, and you can see the hills on view from this point. But as for us, we're now on an out and back to Little Dodd, which I think is that one on the end over there. And there's Durban Water and Keswick beyond, and then behind that together. Okay, so that's me off Ethan Knott now. Apologies, got my house on the wrong way around, it's windy, I had to, otherwise it'll blow up. Apologies, I think I said on the last one, the next one is Little Dod. It's not Little Dod, it's Brown Dod. Now obviously being Synges, there's no real plottable paths on the maps. There are paths on the ground as you can see, but probably more sheep trots to be honest, but they are making it easier. So yeah, there's no plottable paths, you just got to Tim Synge your way through to the summits. So yeah, so I'm just behind this wall now, so taking a bit of shelter. It's windy, seems everywhere you turn you seem to be in the wind. So yeah, I'll bring you back when we get onto our next hill of Brown Dod. We scramble. Alrighty, here we are, the summit of Brown Dod. Hill bagging as the summit features a rocky outcrop, so we'll take it. This is the rocky outcrop they're talking about, and it's a Synge, and it's 370 metres. Boom. Our next target of King's How looks miles away and massive from here. So if we turn round and look over east, you can see where we were a few weeks ago. That's High Seat up there, High Tove a bit further along, Wainwright Fells, and then on the end over to Crag, and even closer view now of Derwent Water. So right, we're back the way we came now, and our next target is the Birkett of King's How. 10 minutes after leaving Brown Dod, we find ourselves back under the crags of Ethan Knott. So it's basically retracing our steps really back, heading towards Grange Fell before we have to start going round. We can't make a beeline from Brown Dod to King's How because there's too much steep ground down there, so yeah, we've got to kind of go back the way we came and then skirt round. You can see it there. I mean, it looks miles away, but it won't be too long before we're up there. It's a cracking day at the moment. It's getting quite warm now. I might have to take the jacket off. So there we go, back at the gate now. You can now see over to Grange Fell again. So yeah, so I'm going to follow this fence line up for a bit to kind of get level with King's How, and then have a look at the map and have a look at the contours and take it from there, because I don't really want to go all the way back to Grange Fell, but if I have to, I have to, but I'm sure I can find a route across. But it's an absolutely stunning day. Windy, but they did forecast the wind, but at least we've got the sunshine for now. So right, let's follow this fence line for a bit, get level with King's How, and then we'll take it from there. So you've seen us cross that rickety stile down there, so that's looking back to Brown Dod where we've just come from. Ethan Knott's behind us there, and then from that stile I'm making a beeline now for King's How. Every now and then you pick up kind of these trods that look well walked, probably mainly sheep, but people I think still use them, and then he disappears for 10-20 yards, and then you find one reappearing, so you're always kind of on some sort of trod, and this is kind of cutting the angle that we want to go at. You can see King's How just there through them trees. So yeah, we'll carry on making good headway, because you can't go in a straight line because it's too craggy down there, far too craggy. So there we are, we're making good progress. As you can see, this is why we're having to skirt round, because we're trying to avoid that kind of terrain. So we kind of, every time we come to a ridge like we got here, we've just got to have a look down and assess it, and then have a look at the map and work our way around, because there's trods but there ain't no paths. So you just need to bear that in mind if you're coming to bag these outlying Synges like we are today. You need to rely on having decent navigation and having decent navigation skills to be able to read the map and read the contour. So we're doing all right. We won't be too far away, but just plodding along. Longer days now, so there's no real time limit. We'll just crack on. And there we go, just like that, we round that crag, and then we pick up the main path from Grange Fell up to King's House. So perseverance pays off. We finished for the Tim Syngen for now, and we're now on the main path that takes us up into the sunshine, and you can see it zigzagging there up the hill. Hey, I'm on my own today. We could have done some synchronised styling, look. Never seen that before, although I don't know why you would, given the fact there's a fecking huge great gap in the middle of them. So here we are, our fourth hill of the day in the Birketts summit of King's Howe, 392 metres. I've gone to hill bagging as a cairn, but I can't see one. This is the high point, and it's very, very windy. So if you can hear me, there's Grange Fell where we were first. Ether Knot there in the centre, and then above that you've got High Seat, and then the craggy one there in the trees is Round Dot, and then we've cut an angle across here through these crags to where we are now. So now we've got a choice to make. I plotted a route back down that way, but Mr. Hostel tells me there is a route off this way. Our next fell is the Wainwright and Castle Crag over there. But yeah, we've got to try and work out how we get off Brown Howe first. But stunning views, and what a glorious day. It's just this wind. Fantastic views. Blencathra there. Head just in the clouds. Pat Fells there. Maiden Moor and High Spy. That's us off. King's Howe now, heading north, heading down towards the village of Grange, but this is gives a great look of the terrain we've traversed. So after doing Ether Knot there in the middle and Round Dot at the end, we've come back across, and then we've meandered our way through all these crags and ravines underneath Grange Fell there and up to Brown Howe. So yeah, so I've changed to the route I had in mind, but anyway, you'll see at the start of the video the route we've actually done, and hopefully this path doesn't get too steep at any point. So that was quite steep coming down there. Nothing too taxing, but you just got to be, especially with the rocks are wet, there's quite rocky in parts, and they're very slippy, so just need to take your time really. Yeah, so we're down there now, and then this path follows round and just down into the woods. This is a lovely part of the walk. Just goes to show you don't need mountains and crags to have a nice walk. This is really, really nice, really nice. Oh, it's slow going down here. Whilst it's a good path, it's steep as, and the rocks are so wet. You've just got to be so mindful of not slipping. I think I'm on the path, although I'll let you decide. So we're in this clearing in this woods, We've got a great view now of Brown Dodd up there, where we were a little earlier. Looks so different from down here. I can't remember what this crag was called. We've come from up there. But it's a beautiful day and really warm when you get out of the wind. But yeah, Brown Dodd, absolutely fantastic from down here. So that's me nearly out of the fantastically named Cumacata Woods, nearly down into the village of Grange. I think we might have a break there. Anyway, so just looking up there too, just behind these trees, as we can see, I think it's these crags here, these knitting haws, which is a Birkett I do need. So that looks absolutely fantastic up there. Yeah, this path nearly is in Grange, where we're going to have a stop and a brew. Right, so that's us through Grange. We didn't stop because it was quite busy. So, and I thought I timed it wrong. I just timed it for the arrival of the bus. And an absolute shed load of people got off. Anyway, fortunately they're going the different route to us. So we follow this now for a while before picking up the Cumbria Way for a very short section where we branch right and head up the path that follows Broad Slack Gill up to the summit of Castle Crag. So there's a closer view of Knitting Haws. That looks a fantastic hill. Can't wait to get up there at some point. Oh, this is me on the very short section of the Cumbria Way. We're not on it for very long, but it brings back some memories of nearly 2 years ago now. Me and Mossy walking wild camping UK, did the Cumbria Way. And speaking of long distance trails and Mossy, it's not long now before we start our 2026 adventure back up in Scotland again, and this time we're doing the African Tailway from Drumnadrochit all the way through Glen Affric and ending up at Morvick. So really looking forward to that. Fingers crossed we get glorious weather, because it promises to be a mega stunningly beautiful trail. So I'll talk to you more about that a bit later. In the meantime, let's carry on with this wonderful walk. So after crossing that little footbridge, you immediately turn right and follow the bridleway that runs alongside the fabulous Broad Slack Gill. Western crags of Castle Crag, sorry. That's where we're heading. So our path follows round, and then just a bit further up here it branches left, and then we zigzag up its south face to its summit. Sun's still out, still very windy as you can probably hear, but just absolutely stunning. What a path this is. What a main path, and we bear left and we follow this smaller path for the short sharp pull up to Castle Crag. That's looking up to the crags. Low Scordle, I think that's where Mr. Austell was a few weeks ago. Somewhere up there. Don't know which one it is, Dave. They all look the same to me, but I'll be up there at some point. So yeah, fantastic looking crags. Fantastic. Anyway, there's a memorial bench there if you want to take a seat for a rest on the way up. But it's full on in the wind today, so we're not going to do that. I'm going to carry on up and get up to the top, bag this off, and then hopefully get down out of the wind somewhere. On our 5th hill of the day, and the Wainwright summit of Castle Crag, 290 metres. Oh, and what views! Absolute views. Bosh! Stunning views all the way around to Durban Water. There's King's How, where we've just been, our last fell, Grange Fell. Can't see the other two. Then we've got Eagle Crag and Sergeant Crag. Wainwright Fell here, going all the way over to Glaramara. And you've got Seathwaite Fell. The big one in the middle is Great End. Absolutely fantastic. So it's so windy up here. I'll put some pictures with the annotations of what hills are what. So we're going to get down here, and I think I'm going to have something to eat and drink in the cafe at Yew Tree Farm, where me and Mossy had that fabulous lamb pasty on the Cumbria Way. But what views, absolutely fantastic. Leaving Castle Crag now, we came up that path there, and we're now going to go down. We're going to go up to this cairn, we're going to go down to the path to the left of this cairn. Castle Crag. You might only be small in stature, but by God, you're tough getting up and down. Oh, that was tough in that wind. So careful, the slate's so loose. So yeah, it might only be 290 metres, but God, you have to take your time coming off and watch where you're putting your feet. Oh. Anyway, I think we've got the worst of it over with now. We're on our way down to pick up the Cumbria Way, and that takes us into Rossthwaite. Here we go. Back down off Castle Crag, back on the Cumbria Way path. And a decent track now all the way into Rossthwaite, where we'll get some refreshments. Flooded path. That's the beauty of gaiters and waterproof socks. Yew Tree Farm, I think it's called. And then straight ahead of us we can see our last two fells of the day. So to the right there is Knots, and then to the left there is Great Crag. Okay, so that's me fed and watered, ready for the last quarter of the walk. There's Castle Crag in the centre of the shot there, where we were last. And now we're just coming into the main village of Rossthwaite, and if memory serves me right, the Cumbria Way goes left and then right, and then we follow that round. So yeah, it's up that road. Nothing coming. Let's go. Right, so as I was saying earlier, the African Tailway, mine and Mossy's long distance trail for 2026. So it's, well, officially they say 45 miles, but these trails, they always come in longer than what they actually say. So I'd say it's probably, it'll end up coming in at about 50 mile. And it starts in, well, the official start is in Drumnadrochit on the shores of Loch Ness, and then it heads west through Glen Affric into Glen Licks, I think it is, and eventually finishes at Morvick. So we're going to do it over, we're going to take it really easy. We're doing it over 4 days, so pretty easy days really, but the scenery is meant to be fantastic. If you speak to anybody, arguably they'll say Glenafric is one of the finest, if not the finest glen in Scotland, and let's face it, it's got some good competition. So yeah, really looking forward to it. It's an area I've been to before, certainly the Cannock area. Me and my dad did some walking in Scotland about 5 years ago now, and we had a cottage in the village of Cannock, which was our base for the week. I've done 4 Munros, 2 of them are in Glenafric, pardon my pronunciation, but I think they are Tomachonny and Tolgrigach. Apologies to any Scottish viewers. So yeah, so I'm really looking forward to that. First week in May again, but hopefully we get the same weather that we had for the West Highland Way last year and the year before that, the Cumbria Way. So that's what's coming up between then and now. Try and get some more Wainwrights bagged. I'm trying to get a couple of camps in because I've got a new tent that I need to try out, and I don't want to be pitching it for the first time on the African Tailway. So that's what's coming up. Can't wait. And in the short term, what's coming up today is carrying on this path, the Cumbria Way path, before eventually we'll branch off and turn left and head up between knots that you can see up there and White Crag, which is further round, and then it's a drop down back into Wattonlith via Great Crag. So 3 more fells today. Let's do it. So we're really entering the heart of the Borrowdale Valley now. Sun's still out, as you can see. It's still a glorious day. So up here between the trees is Wainwright Fells and Bessie Boo's up there, the Wainwright. So we still need to come back to this area to get that one bagged. There's a few Birketts and Synges up there as well, and then just here you can see straight ahead of us in the path is Eagle Crag and its northern flanks, the terrace route. Great fun, absolutely great fun. So I don't think it'll be too long now without checking the map before we're hanging a left. There we go, we're on the Cumbria Way. Sorry sheep, you're going to have to shift. So not long after the village of Stonethwaite, on the main Cumbria Way path, you'll get to this signpost here. Cumbria Way carries on there. We're taking a left and the path takes us up through that forest up there. This is the second path I've been on today that looks like this. Absolutely stunning. The moss on the ground is just amazing, and I'm sure Butchie Boy, Mel, Tony, AJ, Bex, I'm sure this was the way you came up Great Crag. Kind of rings a bell now. I'm sure you'll let me know in the comments, but it really does. I'm sure I remember you walking up this way and all moaning and whining at how hard it was. Let me know anyway. The wall for silly names, we've had Cumcatter Wood, and now we've got Willygrass Beck. Now this beck runs out of Dock Tarn, which we'll see later on when we get up onto the tops. But there's plenty of water thundering down it. This path twists and turns like a twisty turny thing. It's a great step path, and it just zigzags up the hill. You just keep plodding on, really. It's like going up a short stepped staircase, and you just keep plodding away. Try not to take too many rests, just slow and steady kind of thing. I don't think it won't be too far, too soon before we're up on the ridge. So yeah, it's going all right, just slow and steady. Waterfalls there at the top end of Willygrass Gill, and Dock Tarn's just over the top there. Our next fell is High Crag, which is over there. I'm a bit concerned as to how we cross that gill, but we'll have to. Alright, so if I carry on this path, that takes me towards Dock Tarn, which I'll be coming back this way to do, and then go over to Knots. But off the main path I've seen this trod here, and then crosses the beck, and then follows that wall up, and the summit of Great Crag is just beyond that, the top of what we can see there, that dip in the centre. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to leave the path here, cross the beck, and handrail that wall up, and that should take me pretty much to the summit. So wish me luck. So here we are on the summit of High Crag, 451 metres, and it's a Synge. Boom! And I tell you what, look at this, what a place, what a place. If you're not bagging the Synges, you ain't ever coming to here. There's Dock Tarn down there, so that must mean that our next two hills are, that must be High Crag up there. Now if that's not, it's going to get sacked off, because I ain't going down there. But we'll see, we'll have a look at the map. What a place, absolutely stunning. Get on these Synges, people, look where he brings you. Absolutely fantastic. There's Greenup Valley there. There's Lining Crag. That's Langstrath. Eventually if you follow that and over, that'll take you to Stake Pass, and then down into Langdale. Absolutely stunning. Stunning. Right, I think that's Great Crag in the Grange Fell in the sun over there. Fantastic. Right, let's get down, and I'll either see you heading towards Knots or our last fell of the day, which will be Great Crag. But look at this, fantastic. To get back across Willystone Gill, we didn't have any trouble coming across, so it shouldn't be too problematic going back over, and then I'll decide if I'm doing Knots or not. Knots or not. See what I did there? Guess what we're on route 2? Huh? Guess what classification of a hill we're on our way to? That's right, one of Mr. Synges. Bloody hell. It'd be the death of me, Tim. An absolute death of me. Jumped across bog and heather, and it wouldn't just be a flat top, would it? No, it's a scramble. It's a scramble. But we're here now. The Synge of Knots, 401 metres, and this is for All the hiking Avengers, you gonna know who you are. Ah. Boom! I'll tell you what, once again, look at those views. Our final hill of Great Crag, and I think what I'm going to do, there's a grassy rake down here and then up that grassy rake there and along the top. Oh, that was tough getting here, that really was. But anyway, it's done, it's in the bag. Let's get up to our final hill of the day of Great Crag. Right, here we go, our final hill of the day, and fittingly it's a Wainwright, and it's the Wainwright of Great Crag, 449 metres, and that's Wainwright 196 for me, 18 to go. Boom! And fantastic, there's Castle Crag there in the middle of the shot. There's Wainwrights Tarn, and I can even see the car. Now that is amazing. Having said that, there's a cairn on that other crag, so let's have a look. Well, I've got this marked as the summit, so we're taking it. Great Crag, 449 metres. There's Dock Tarn down there. Can't quite see Knots where we've just come from. There's Great Crag. Fantastic. Right, I'm absolutely bollocks for today, so I'm going to get off this hill. I'll sign off down there, and then I'm going to get back to the car. Right, catch you in a bit. Right, that's us off Great Crag now, overlooking this great vista over towards Grange Fell, our first of the day, down to Wainwrights Town where the car's parked. So I thought I'd wrap it up here. If you're still watching, fair play to you, thank you very much, it's much appreciated. That's 8 new fells today, 3 new Wainwrights, taking me up to 196, there's 18 to go. We've also done a Birkett and 4 Synges. So it's been a great walk. I think it'll be about over 13 miles when we get back, but I've enjoyed every minute of it. So all that remains for me to say is thanks for watching again, and we'll catch you out in the mountains in the next time. All the best.